Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to another in our Good Gas Monday series. This is a space that I have curated to do a few things: empower women by reminding us, because I remind myself in the process, of our potential, our strength, and our ability to overcome challenges, because the hardships will make you want to forget that you can sometimes. So I really want to use this space to encourage self-belief and the pursuit of your goals. And if this is your first time here, it's important for me to tell you what we do in this space so you know what to expect. But beyond empowering women, it's about giving a confidence boost. And this is where men in our community also benefit, because we all struggle with things like self doubt, imposter syndrome, and we could all do with a little bit more assertiveness as we move into spaces that make us question our worthiness, so we can be successful and feel like a success as we're taking on life. And of course, community building is a big part of what Good Guest Mondays is meant to do, so we can grow by fostering connections and a supportive network. So if this is your first time here, we abide by the laws of community building, maintaining respect in our dialogue, and even if we disagree, to do that with kindness and compassion. So if you know of a woman who needs these kinds of tools on a weekly basis to feel empowered, to boost her confidence, and to build a broader network, please feel free to share the link to this video and any other video that's inside our playlist for Good Gas Mondays. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already, like this video if you enjoy the content, and drop a comment and let us know what resonates with you as you're watching. So for this video, I'm exploring a topic that's close to home for me, because it's something I have had to figure out and maintain a sense of awareness even after figuring it out, because the rhythm of life will cause you to lose the focus of what you're trying to do as you're juggling the many balls in the air. And that's work-life balance. What is work-life balance, especially for moms? Now, I've seen a few videos online that have bashed the idea completely, to say that there's no such thing as work-life balance because there will never be any balance. But how you define it, I think, is what makes the difference, and whether or not you feel as though it is possible to develop work-life balance. So let me define for you what I think work-life balance is, and then you'll understand a little bit more about why I think it's achievable. So for me, work-life balance, especially for mothers, is creating equilibrium between the professional responsibilities that you have and your personal responsibilities. Personal including your family, self-care obligations, your hobbies, and other non-work related activities. So finding a way to manage your time, manage your energy, and manage your attention so that you can fulfill the obligations professionally, and also nurture a sense of well-being and nurture family relationships. So it doesn't mean that each area gets 50% equally. It just means that you're managing the time, managing the energy, managing the attention, so you can fulfill obligations here and nurture well-being and relationships in the other area of your life. So striking that healthy equilibrium and finding that work-life balance is crucial, not just because it requires physical effort and exertion, but because it has an impact on a mother's mental health as well. Her ability to be present and engaged in both her professional and personal roles. Multitasking is not something I recommend or advocate, because we have to develop a greater ability, generally, just as a generation, a greater ability to focus on what we're doing and be present and committed to the task at hand. Too many times we are doing one thing and our mind is probably 5 days ahead, 3 months ahead, thinking about those obligations, those things that are upcoming. Mind is probably 2 minutes in the past, 2 days in the past, wondering if we forgot something, ruminating about something that did not go right, regretting something, beating ourselves up for it. And so whatever we're doing right now doesn't get our full focus and a sense of attention. And that's why part of my definition of work-life balance is not just the time, but the energy and the attention. Because there are people who think they have work-life balance, but there is no real attention in the moment to what they're doing, sitting with the phone or the laptop in your lap while you're at the beach. And so what should be quality time, observing your children at play, having conversation to deepen the connection between you and your siblings, you and your partner, you and your children, can't happen because you're not present. So it's not just managing the time and getting the activity into your calendar, it's also about managing your energy and your attention so that you can feel fully engrossed and involved in what you're doing. So you can understand why achieving work-life balance can be especially challenging for mothers, because it's not always easy to draw the line between where parenting stops and work begins, where work stops and parenting begins. Some of the times things overlap, some of the times they come head on in conflict, and the unique demands that a mother will have around caregiving, not just for children, but probably for an aged sibling or parent who may be ill. You will find that the demand around caregiving is different for women, especially women who are mothers. And so in the home and in the workplace, very unrealistic sometimes expectations are held of women. And so we have to be cautious as we are trying to create that work-life balance about how we're making commitments with our time, our energy, and our attention. So what I wanted to share in this video is not just a definition that could help you feel more able to establish some sense of work-life balance, but also share with you a recommended list of things to stop doing if you actually want to maintain or develop at minimum work-life balance, and some questions you could ask yourself to see what needs to be shifted, delegated, or completely removed from your calendar so you can actually enjoy a sense of balance. So there are factors that affect the ability to have flexible work arrangements, supportive employers, childcare options, self-care practices. All of those things make it likely or less likely that you will be able to build and maintain a sense of balance. But if we start with some principles, some things that we will not do, and some things that we will always observe, it helps to create that rhythm and make it more consistent than not having those principles. But it's important for me to say that work-life balance is not a one-size-fits-all kind of concept. Each mother's circumstances will be different. The values that we have around what it means to be a parent, what it means to be a productive employee, those things are different. And the priorities that we have may also be different. Some of us could be in a season where we prioritize caregiving and parenting above productive effort, but we must know the season we are in and what works for us. And the way that we define that will help us to create the balance that we're looking for. And that's why the balance will vary. So when people talk about it being 50-50, it can't be 50-50 because nobody's life is cut in two. So we have to know what is a priority for us, what will be a priority in this quarter, in this year, and then align our time, energy, and focus with that. So what's this mom life that we're trying to create work-life balance around? Being a mom is a full-time job, right? So it's like having at least 2 full-time jobs if you're building a professional career while actively engaged in motherhood. And so that can bring, as I said, some of the rules into conflict. But the important thing to note here is that if it's not properly managed, you'll feel overwhelmed and stretched thin. And therefore, you can't find the time, you can't find the energy, you can't find the attention to dedicate to the other things that are of value to you. So a mom's schedule is moving from early mornings to very late nights on childcare duties alone, multitasking like a superhero, trying to get everything done, manage the work deadlines, attending to the family's needs and the family events, and then showing up perky, happy, ready to serve in every space. So it really does require creating a unique sense of harmony, rhythm, and flow that allows you to thrive in the various domains that matter most to you. So work-life balance is giving your best. And some days, the best is 50% of what it was yesterday. Some days your best is at 100, and other days your best is at 20%. That's the first thing I wanted us to acknowledge, coming off of defining for ourselves what work-life balance is. The next thing we have to accept is that it's about giving our best, and in some seasons, in some moments, in some ways, the best is going to look different. You'll find a 75% best when you're dealing with your child this week and having all the patience for homework. And then another week, the best you could do on a homework night is 20%. And we have to give ourselves grace and compassion as we're working through the managing of the time and the energy and the attention. So here are some things I want you to stop doing as a mother if you actually want to build work-life balance. Stop putting yourself last on the list. Mothers have the habit of deciding that everybody's needs have to be put above their own and before their own. And so by the time you get to what you wanted to do, you are tired, the money is done, the time has run out, and you probably don't even remember why you wanted it in the first place, because having done everything else for everybody and given up all the valuable time, asset, and energy, Maybe what you wanted was frivolous, and so you start to demean the personal needs that you have as a woman. Stop putting yourself last on the list. Sometimes when you write that list, your thing has to be first. Sometimes you have to just accept that you're going to be late for this meeting because you wanted your makeup to be done. You wanted to do your edges. You wanted to go to the hairdresser. You wanted to get your nails done because all of those things improve your mood. And no, you couldn't tell them that you're asking for a meeting change or the time change because you needed a pedicure. You're not going to tell them that, right? You don't have to go into all the details. But sometimes you're going to write that list and you are your first appointment and assignment for the day. I did a video recently around the importance of building a daily productivity routine and starting that off with a strong and consistent morning routine. So I linked that video inside this one so you can watch it. But it's important for you to have your routine and prioritize the calibration of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, through your prayer and your meditation. If you have a spiritual practice, that means reading your scripture, doing your deep breathing, your yoga, your prayers, whatever that is, and giving yourself room to open up your mind, your spirit, your body through exercise, preparing a meal for yourself. I mean, you don't have to be the one to eat crackers and coffee in the morning while everybody has a balanced breakfast. Giving yourself time to fuel your body. And that also includes going to sleep. So it means having a set bedtime. But build a routine that allows you to prioritize the physical, mental, and emotional needs that you have. And sometimes the best way to do that is to get up early in the morning or to make yourself the first thing on your to-do list. You're going to the gym. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have our shake. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do our prayer, our meditation, light our candle and our sage. That is what we're going to do. That's my first and most important task. Stop putting yourself last on the list, because if you're last on the to-do list, the things you want to do never get done. And you must have experienced that at some point if you are in that rhythm and cycle of just trying to get everything done for everybody first. The other thing I want you to stop doing, if you're doing this, is abandoning your hobbies and your moments for self-care. You have to have things that you're doing just for fun, just because you enjoy doing it. No brain work required. It's not about building a skill for work. It's not about a promotion. It's not about making sure that your child has a good college that they're going to go to. No, I'm just doing this knitting because I like it. I'm not trying to open a side hustle or a business. I'm not trying to post it on Instagram. I just do this because I like it. I'm reading this book because I like it. I go for walks in the park and I do bird watching because I like it. I go bird shooting because I like it. Don't abandon your hobbies and, as I said, demean them, because by the time you get to them, you're not sure if you have the time, the resources, or the energy to get it done anymore. Put it on the list. And when it's on the list, take the break. Build a ritual to nurture the hobbies. That's an important part of your mental recharge. It's an important part of your spiritual recharge. It helps you to bring out your best self at work and for your family, because you don't walk around with that underlying residual undercurrent of resentment, wishing you had done it, being jealous as you watch other people do their thing and enjoy life, feeling regret, feeling disappointment, feeling like you've betrayed yourself, and therefore running out of what would I call patience, buttons, your temper short. You just can't find any more room to facilitate other people. So you find out that your buttons get pressed very easily because you're on the edge. Everybody's walking on thin ice with you because you haven't taken any breaks to invest in, to explore and even decide what you are interested in for yourself just because you enjoy it. The other thing you have to stop doing is stop trying to be available for everybody. Yeah, man, this one is important because people think that the fact that you're a mother means that you're 100% always on call for everybody and everything. There's some times when we're going to have to delegate even the care responsibilities that we have. We get a sitter and we're going to get a nanny and we're going to get a helper. You don't have to do everything for everybody. Sometimes you're going to tell people no and show them how they can do it for themselves. Sometimes you're going to tell people no and hand them the keys and say, you can go to the supermarket if we forgot to buy something and we need it and you can't do without it. You do have a driver's license. I'm not the only person who can drive. I'm not the only person who can take something off the shelf in the supermarket. So I'm not available right now. But here's how you can help yourself. That's part of setting boundaries. Moms need to be able to set that and to communicate that, their availability and their unavailability, to not just the people in your personal life, but also to your employers, which takes some courage. So yes, I have the work phone that I can take home with me, but I don't, sir or ma'am. I actually turn it off when I'm at home because I'm not on call, but you can send me an email if it's super urgent, and you can call my personal phone if it's really urgent. But don't think that because I have the phone, I'm supposed to be answering work WhatsApp messages right through and answering work emails right through. I'm not on duty. I'm not on call. I'm not available. And while I'm touching on this, I want to just impress upon women the need to take your holidays, take your sick days. One of the things I used to do when I was in corporate was to take my preventative sick days. So I wasn't sick yet, but I realized that my body was about to collapse. I was feeling very tired, feeling some sniffles, this persistent headache. What am I going to do? Wait until I have the full-blown flu? Wait until I have a full-blown fever because I caught some virus and my body did not have any kind of antibodies, anything at all to help to nourish and fight off whatever that virus or infection was, because I wasn't eating properly, because I wasn't sleeping, because I wasn't exercising? No, man. I'm listening to my body and I'm taking my preventative sick days. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to have to take the day and feel terrible for the whole day and be able to do nothing for the whole day. So let me take this day a couple of days in advance of whatever is coming and give myself the rest so I can be rejuvenated to focus and deliver at optimal levels for work and for family. So don't try to be available to all, and be very, very committed to taking those holidays, those breaks, and those sick days, preventative sick days. If you want to, you can take that strategy and make sure that you're giving yourself the benefit of rest. Yes? The last thing I'm asking you not to do, if you actually want to build a greater sense of harmony and rhythm and work-life balance, is to pretend that you don't need help. It's okay to ask for help. Lean on your partner. That's what they're there for a partnership. I've seen this shared online so many times that, you will be in a relationship with somebody, sometimes married, and you are still a single parent because everything is on you. But not all the time does it have to be on you. Sometimes you just decide that you're not going to ask for help. If people don't read your mind, if they don't pick up the cues and the attitude, if they don't hear the dishes slamming in the sink, if they don't hear the cupboard doors slamming shut, if they don't pick up from you not wanting to engage in intimate acts with them, you're not going to say anything. They should know. Come on, ask for the help. Open your mouth and say, I need help with this. I'm not going to be able to do that. Schedule doesn't allow me to do this. Have to prioritize doing these two things. So can you handle the drop-offs and the pickups? Going to be coming in a little late from the gym in the morning. Can you handle breakfast for the kids for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays? Yes. Ask family members if they can support you in some way on the journey. It doesn't have to be every day, but maybe on a weekend, grandma, auntie, uncle, cousin, big sis, big brother can take the children to their different appointments. Maybe it's swimming, maybe it's dance, maybe it's karate, maybe it's gymnastics. Ask for help. And even with childcare services, people are there that you can pay to share the load. And don't be afraid to pay the family members too, because I'm sure they would love to have a little pocket money at the end of whatever it is they do for you, especially the teenagers or the early 20s who are in college. They would appreciate a little touch up to put some money in their pocket. So don't be afraid to pay family as well to give you support. Yes, support systems are valuable for mothers, for us to have the breathing room, for us to focus and realize when we have an opportunity to do something, to realize that we actually like something and we're talented in something and we can do a little bit more of it, probably to make money or just for leisure. But ultimately, work-life balance for moms is about finding a suitable rhythm for you, something that allows you to excel in what you are interested in while taking care of the well-being of your family and those under your care. So make those adjustments and stop doing the things I've asked you to stop doing, like putting yourself last on the list, abandoning your self-care practices and rituals, trying to be available to all, and pretending that you don't need help. The last thing I'd want to share with you as important tools revolves around reflection. Yes, because sometimes we have to ask ourselves some questions. So grab a piece of paper and notebook if you have a Good Gas Mondays notebook. Big up yourself. If not, I'm going to put a link that allows you to purchase one of our inspirational notebooks. It has an inspirational cover, and you can use it to make your notes as you're watching the Good Gas Mondays series, as you're reflecting, answering the questions, or if you join our book club, as you're reading the book and you're learning and picking things out. We have a notebook that you can use as your journal. So I'll drop the link in the comment, in the description bar below. So here are 3 questions that I would invite you to carve out 15 minutes in your day to really answer truthfully. Take your time to answer these 3 questions. When do you want to develop this work-life balance, this rhythm in your life? When? Like, which year is the year that this desire you have to have work-life balance is supposed to come true? Because we're not going to spend our life wanting and wanting and wanting. Write that date down. By this year, I should develop a unique rhythm that allows me to nurture my relationships and also invest time in my hobbies and my productive or professional life. When do you want it to happen? For some people, they know clearly it's by age 50. It's by age 50, they have to find a rhythm that allows them to work on their own time or not have to work to earn money. But whatever it is, write that date down. You know what the balance is going to look like for you. You know what you want to feel more aligned, or where you want to feel that sense of alignment. The second question is, what is currently causing you a sense of stress, a feeling of imbalance, or dissatisfaction? That's usually a cue of where you need to put yourself first instead of putting yourself last, or set some boundaries. But if you don't know, you'll keep working through life, hitting up against that wall, bumping into that particular hurdle or stumbling block, and thinking that life just doesn't want you to be great, when you ought to just focus on a way to de-escalate a situation that is stressful, to create more harmony, rhythm, balance, equilibrium there, or remove it completely instead of trying to interact with it, hoping it will change one day when it's eating into your time and your focus. And then the third question is, what are you currently prioritizing and what are you willing to sacrifice? So that's like a two-part question. Part A, what are you currently prioritizing? What has the benefit of your time, your focus, your energy? And then what do you want to sacrifice from that list in order to build more equilibrium, to build more balance and a sense of harmony and work-life balance into your life? So where can you see yourself removing things that are currently a priority or deprioritizing them? So instead of them getting first dibs out of your day, something else gets the first dibs on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, or on a Saturday. So I hope you find the time to really respond to those questions, journal if you need to, and clarify for yourself when you want this to happen. What do you see as friction that might be delaying the occurrence of this? What are you currently prioritizing and dedicating your time to? And what of those things you could sacrifice or deprioritize in order to create more harmony? And as I said, when we talk about work-life balance in my community, we're not talking about splitting time 50-50, but managing the time, managing the energy, managing the attention in a way that allows you, especially if you're a mother, to fulfill your work commitments and also nurture your well-being and the well-being of those under your care. So that's why we're even asking these questions, so we can see how I'm able to better manage the time, the energy, and the attention to fulfill the obligations I have professionally, but also those that I have personally. I hope this video has been useful for you. If it has, please put a comment below so I can know. Share with me any topics you'd want me to cover in the future. And of course, share this video with a woman, a mom that you know might be struggling to strike that healthy work-life balance and even define what work-life balance would mean for her. Thanks so much for being a part of my Good Guest Mondays communities. And of course, I will see you again on another big, beautiful Monday to explore what we can do to empower ourselves, to boost our confidence, and to expand community in this digital space. If you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed to our page so you never miss a brand new episode. You can follow me on social media, on Instagram at Krystal Tomlinson, on Twitter at Chris Tomlinson. I'm also on LinkedIn, so I'll put those links in the description bar so you can join my community in those spaces as well. And if you need some help around coaching, around bringing that sense of empowerment into your day and building a habit and a practice of prioritizing the essentials so you can accomplish what you set out to, then you can register either for my one-on-one productivity coaching, a link will be below, or my Harvest Hub group coaching, which is a community of women dedicated to doing the best they can with the 1,440 minutes that we all get in each day, so we can not just be successful and look successful, but feel inherently that we're making the right decisions one day at a time for ourselves and for those we love. Until we connect again, lots of love, light, and blessings to you.